Chapter 8. Interest in Developments. Rule number 4. Notebook, pen, you'll need them, the Rev said. Check, Jamal said. They were standing on the porch of a small house on the same block where Gunny lived. The Rev rang the bell. An elderly white woman opened the door. Miss Booth, the Rev said. They entered the house, and the Rev gently hugged the older woman. Ezekiel, she said, you are looking very well. How is your health? Tolerable, the old man said. Aches and pains. Oh, always, she said, and they went off down the hallway talking about getting old and the weather. They left Jamal to follow along behind. Soon after the Rev apologized for a tardy introduction to Miss Elizabeth Booth, the three of them sat around a small table in one corner of her tidy kitchen. Tea drinker, I'm guessing, thought Jamal. And a minute later, Miss Booth was up and serving tea in delicate white cups. In the warm, bright light in the kitchen, Jamal could see that Miss Booth was ancient, much older than the Rev. And she called him Ezekiel. That was strange. When Miss Booth returned to the table, the old man explained. This is one of the most important rules you're going to learn, Jamal, he said. You are going to have the good fortune to learn it from the person who taught it to me. Well, at least the mathematical aspects, Miss Booth said. We didn't really go into finance. Compound interest, the Rev said. That was all dollars and cents, and the problems we worked on were mostly about savings. The principles, Miss Booth said. Yes, we were dealing with basic financial matters. Miss Booth was my math teacher, Jamal, the Rev said. 7th and 8th grades right down the block. Ezekiel was one of my best students, Miss Booth said. His work was always precise with all the steps written down. This was before they allowed the students to use calculators and computers and such. Principles and process, that's what we taught. And taught it well, the Rev said. Tell me, Jamal, she said, how sharp are your math skills? Well, pretty good, I guess. Addition and subtraction, she said. No problems there? No problems. And interest calculations? Percentages? Miss Booth continued. Well, I understand the idea, and I can figure stuff out like batting averages and free throw shooting percentages, Jamal said. That's a good start, Miss Booth said. Compounding? That's where you get some percentage of something, a small amount, and add it to the first number, Jamal said. Then when you calculate the percentage the next time, the result is a little bigger. Good, Miss Booth said. Give me an example. Let's say for a savings account with interest compounded monthly. Okay, Jamal said. I got a savings account with $100 in it, and I'm getting 5% a month interest on that compounded monthly. Very wishful thinking, she said. Go on. Well, after 1 month, I will earn $5. That gets added to my savings, Jamal said. Now I have $105. Jamal started putting the numbers down in his notebook. Next month, I'll get $5.25 in interest. Add that to the savings, and I'm at $110.25. Just keeps doing that. Compounded. Very good, Miss Booth said. You are paying attention in math class. Well, some, Jamal said. Plus, you better know how to figure stuff like that. Out on the street. You can't do the math. Some dudes can rip you off and you never know. Jamal has some experience working as a small business entrepreneur, the Rev said. Oh, what kind of... Miss Booth said, and then seeing the look on Jamal's face, continued. Let's not get distracted. We can agree then. Earning interest, that's a good thing, Miss Booth said. Earning compound interest, that's better. Now, what about paying interest? That's where you can make some real money, Jamal said. Miss Booth looked at him sharply. Jamal smiled. That is, if you are the dude making the loan. The interest, that's the vig on a street loan. Borrow $1,000, you owe $1,200 at the end of the week. Miss your payment, come up short, a man be visiting you. Maybe with some friends, or maybe just his gun. Oh, Miss Booth said. Well, it appears you have a good general understanding of the concept. Terms for a credit card are a little less drastic, but the same principles apply. 100 years ago, the only things people involved in personal finance worried about were saving and compounding. Miss Booth continued. They taught people to believe in the magic of compounding, and it was magical in a way. Back then, people could put money in a savings account and earn 5% compound interest. Today, the interest you can earn on a saving account rarely gets high. Miss Booth said, you have to learn a great deal more about earning and paying interest if you want to have command of your finances. But the same fundamental principles still apply. So, here is a new rule for you, as Ezekiel calls it. She continued. Jamal had already opened his notebook and was ready to write. Never, ever, ever pay interest. Always earn interest, she said. Jamal finished writing and then started to speak. But, no buts, she said. The world of personal finance has gotten extremely complicated. Very smart, clever people are doing everything they can to separate you from your money. Don't let them. But, she cut him off, make it a rule, a fundamental principle, never pay interest on anything, she said. She was spitting out the words. Don't give away your hard-earned money, and don't give them the opportunity to confuse you with interest rates and fees and special offers. She paused, then continued more calmly. A minute ago, I mentioned the magic of compounded interest, she said, but today, people must be vigilant to avoid the evil of compounding interest, specifically the evil of compound interest on credit cards. Miss Booth locked eyes with Jamal. She looked angry. So many young people today get in trouble with credit cards, she said. These giant corporations make it so easy to spend money. Just a quick swipe or a tap or fill out a form online and you can have everything you want. Then at the end of the month, when the bill comes, that's when the young people realize how much they actually spent. But the credit card companies still make it easy for them. Just make a small payment, we'll carry your balance, and all you have to do is pay a little interest on it. Miss Booth was really getting worked up. A little interest, she said. You'll be lucky to earn 1 or 2% interest on your savings these days, she said. But the same bank will charge you 18 or 20 or 21% interest on your credit card balance. Or more, compounded daily. In some states, there is no legal limit to what they can charge. And if you miss a payment, they will charge you a penalty, she said. If you don't pay your bill in full, they'll charge you interest on the penalty, and they may increase your interest rate. Call me old-fashioned, but I think the entire business is terrible. But everybody uses credit cards. Jamal finally had a chance to speak. I mean, the Rev, Gunny, I've seen them buy stuff with credit cards. That's what is so frustrating about credit cards today. They are essential. You need them for online services and purchases. Stores encourage you to use them with extra rewards and discounts, Ms. Booth said. I use them myself. But, she said emphatically, I never pay interest on my credit card accounts. When my credit card statement comes, I pay it off in full. I am following the rule. Never pay interest, Jamal said. Correct, she said. Even if you have a credit card, especially if you have a credit card, never pay interest. She was calm again, but Jamal could see how that business about credit card debt really upset her. Sounded like something he had to learn a lot more about, and an area where he had to be very careful. There is one exception to the rule about paying interest that we can discuss, Miss Booth continued. There is one time when, with eyes wide open, you can consider paying interest. Do you know what I'm talking about? Student loans? Jamal said. Pay for going to school? That wasn't it, she said, then added. So I might have to add another exception, but it would come with extra warnings too. Could you give me another possibility? Borrow money to buy a house? Jamal said. Correct, Miss Booth said. A mortgage exception. And why is a mortgage special? Jamal looked at her and shook his head. If you buy a new car for $30,000, drive it around for 10 years, and then sell it, how much will it be worth? Miss Booth asked. I don't know, maybe $10,000 or so, Jamal said. It'll depend on the mileage. What will happen to the value of a house after you live in it for 10 years? Jamal smiled. Now he understood. It'll go up. Real estate prices are always going up, he said. That's not guaranteed, Miss Booth said. Typically, real estate values go up, but there can be dips too. But since you are living in the home, you still have a roof over your head, and over the years, your home will very likely increase in value. So paying interest on a mortgage is okay? Jamal said. If you must, Miss Booth said, but still, you want to try to pay as little as possible. When you see a mortgage statement, you'll see 3 very important numbers related to your payment. Some of your payment will go toward the interest, and some will be applied to the principal. There may be a portion that goes into escrow as well, money that the mortgage company sets aside and uses to pay property taxes and homeowners insurance. That principal money, though, that's the most important part of your payment. The money that goes toward principal increases your equity. That's the amount of the property that you actually own. So the principal, that's my money, Jamal said. That is correct. You can even add a note to your rule. Paying principal puts money in your own pocket. Jamal wrote the new addition into his notebook. And not only that, Miss Booth continued, since you are reducing the amount of money that you borrowed, you also reduce the amount of interest you have to pay. So with your next payment, you'll pay a little less interest, pay a little more principal, and earn a little more equity. So getting a mortgage and buying a house, that's a kind of good deal. And that's why you have this mortgage exception. That is correct, she said. There may even be some tax benefits related to mortgage interest. You'll want to look into all of this very carefully when the time comes. So, Ms. Booth continued, are you paying any interest now? Jamal's face dropped. He looked profoundly sad. Yes, ma'am, he said. He stopped. He looked at Miss Booth. He saw someone who seemed to care, who wanted to see him succeed. He looked into her gray eyes and made a decision. He continued. I was away for a while, he said. Incarcerated. I got prison fees and penalties and fines from the DMV for some tickets I got driving. And they charge interest as soon as you're released. And I got back child support, and that's got interest too. I got bills and interest up the yin-yang and out the wazoo. Oh, he stopped. Sorry about that. She was smiling. How much? She said. Too much, he said. I can't even count it. It's just too much. So you're going to close your eyes and hope it goes away? She said mildly. He started. I don't know. I've spoken with other young people in your situation, Miss Booth said. They've told me how they feel. It's overwhelming, almost too much to bear. They just wanted to close their eyes, hope it went away, and some of them, they just wanted to get high or get drunk. Yeah, Jamal said. Yeah, it's a lot like that. You have a good understanding of interest and compounding, she said, but I think you may need a refresher on addition and subtraction to go with it. Let's get to the bottom of this. See where you stand, Miss Booth said. Let's meet again here in 3 days, same time, and bring every scrap of paper you have with information about anything you owe. Jamal thought about what she said for a while. Okay, he said. Okay. He said a little stronger, and then he felt a little different too, like some sort of weight might be lifting. Illustration of Jamal's notebook. The rules. Number 1, pay yourself first. Number 2, if you want to have more money, spend less. Number 3, teeny tiny baby steps. Number 4, never pay interest. Always earn interest. Paying principal puts money in your own pocket.